What is up, YouTube family? Welcome to the second installation of my 2020 year in review.
I don't understand why it's so hard to not touch my face. I normally don't just let it air dry, but I don't got nowhere to be. It is 11:49 on April 6th, 2020, and we're about to get the cheapest gas we've ever gotten.
Taking the toilet paper.
Welcome to a day in the life of quarantine Tiffany. So I have not showered in a few days and I feel disgusting.
At this point, we'd been in quarantine a couple weeks and we were really bored. It was late at night, we were inside. We heard this really loud noise and went out and found out that somebody had hit our neighbor's car and like really hit the car. So me and Brandon were like, you know what, we're bored, we're gonna go find the guy. So we get in the car and drive around Fort Rucker for like an hour. There would have been damage on this car. At this point, we were just bored out of our mind. So we drove around for an hour. We never found them, but it was good to get out of the house, even if it was just in the car. Because we were in quarantine, there really was not a whole lot to do. But we didn't want to go crazy and kill each other, and so we got creative. We tried a lot of new recipes. I worked on starting a website, which still hasn't launched yet, but we worked on it. Spent a lot of time outside, ate a lot of delicious breakfast thanks to Brandon. Brandon started baking bread. We hung out in the hammock, did a lot of workouts from home, did a lot of stretching. Ate a lot of takeout.
The unsung heroes of the pandemic. Takeout and the people who actually go get it. Thank you for your service.
Since we weren't really going anywhere, we decided to do an experiment on how long it would take up to use a full tank of gas.
How long do you think this tank of gas will last us?
Probably a month.
You think a month?
I think we can go a whole month.
I'm gonna say May 15th, which is a big bargain because we are supposedly going to be moving May 15th. No, May 11th. Now, if that will happen or not is doubtful. Well, we're supposed to be moving April 23rd. That's not happening. So, oh, they're making a pool out of their truck.
And Brandon participated in the Army's largest urinalysis at one time during a pandemic. If you were in flight school, you definitely heard about that. And then we found out that I was pregnant again with a quarantine baby. We were so excited. This was also when Brandon was supposed to be graduating flight school. We were supposed to have a military ball, which we would get all dressed up for. So we decided to dress up anyway and just take photos in our backyard. Brandon was supposed to have his family day, that got canceled, and Brandon was supposed to have his graduation ceremony from flight school, something he's been working for over 2 years, and that got canceled. So Brandon kind of graduated flight school, he just never had a ceremony. And since we were supposed to be moving in a couple weeks, we started getting rid of stuff and packing up the house.
This is what happens when you have 2 service members with uniform changes and changing branches. You have a lot of uniforms to get rid of.
And then May happened. And in May, Frisco and Cinder both got fixed.
Update on the gas situation. We have burned pretty much all the gas that we've burned so far. Coming to the vet. We are at Healing Hands in Ozark, Alabama now because Frisco and Cinder both got fixed today. Frisco appears entirely unfazed. Cinder, however, is very upset, very grumpy, very groggy, very tired.
We had our first appointment and we heard our baby's heartbeat for the first time. You will see that I'm kind of nervous in this video because, like I said, we'd already had one miscarriage and it was just a really nerve-wracking experience. Do you think something's wrong?
No. You're just starting. It's 122 beats per minute, which is good.
It's good.
It's great.
Tiffany seeing our baby for the first time.
It's so little.
I think anybody that's gone through that is going to be really anxious when they get pregnant again. And then the hives started.
This is ridiculous. My lip is swelling. I've talked about how like I've been getting hives a lot this pregnancy. My lip is like getting fat. My lip is swelling right now.
I got these crazy allergies where I would just break out in hives every single time I had anything with a B vitamin in it. So prenatal vitamins. My daily health shake that I have, Shakeology. If I had crackers, if I had fortified pasta, if I had bread, if I had, strangely, McDonald's chicken nuggets.
I feel like garbage. I'm apparently just allergic to everything now, which is absolutely ridiculous. I broke out in hives after eating yogurt. And I can barely eat anything. And I am really, really, really hungry right now. I've hardly eaten anything all day. So we're getting McDonald's.
I would break out in these miserable hives, and I'm talking like the raised bumps, allergic reaction type of hives, and they were all over my torso, all over my legs, like it was miserable. Half the time I was nauseous, but if I ate anything I would break out in hives, so it was honestly just a really miserable experience. And then we had our second miscarriage. We went in for our next appointment and there was no heartbeat anymore. And that was miserable because not only did we lose our baby, but this time, since we found out at the doctor, I had a D&C. Since I was having an elective surgery, I had to get a COVID test. Less than an hour after they told me that my baby had no heartbeat, I had a COVID test. The next day, Brandon took me to the hospital at 4:30 in the morning, and I didn't leave the hospital until about 1 in the afternoon. Brandon wasn't allowed to be with me, so I was completely alone in this hospital room by myself for hours. Brandon stayed in the car because we didn't think it would take that long. And I just remember in that moment, I had never felt more alone. I'm not gonna cry. I had never felt more alone. And I know that miscarriage is really common, but it's not really that common to happen twice in a row. And so all the anxiety and all the fear that I felt when I first found out I was pregnant, it just all came to a head and it all came to reality. And that just sucked. But like I said before, anytime there's tragedy, there's also pockets of light. And we experienced so much love and support and kindness and compassion from people that we knew, people we didn't know. People brought us meals, they gave us gifts. People were just so kind and supportive and helpful. We're not really on the receiving end a lot. To allow people to love on us and grieve with us, and the cards, the messages from complete strangers, people from Instagram, people from YouTube, people from Facebook, people from the internet that I'd never met before, but that I had somehow touched their life. We had somehow connected. The love and support that we got was just overwhelming. And here's a story that I have not shared with anybody, and my family is probably gonna be mad that I never told them this. But shortly after the miscarriage, like a few days later, I got bit by one lone fire ant on my foot. And I'm apparently allergic to fire ants because I'm just now allergic to everything. And it swelled up a lot. I remember we were sitting in the living room and I was talking to Brandon and I told him, like, at this point, I just feel like Job from the Bible. Like, I had all these crazy things happen, but I still kept the faith and I still was positive and resilient and all these wonderful things. And then I'm like, now I feel like Job. Like, I literally have boils on my skin and I'm just miserable. And Brandon brought up, you know what this is? This is spiritual warfare. And I'm a big believer in that. I know not everybody is, but I believe that. And I remember I laid down and I felt like I was drowning. I couldn't breathe. And then my heart rate just started going crazy. Being the ex-medic that I am, I start to Google and I'm like, maybe I have a blood clot. Could be. I also could be a hypochondriac, I don't know. But my heart rate was just going crazy. In that moment, I genuinely thought I was having a heart attack and I honestly thought I was going to die. And the weird thing is I actually had this weird piece about it. Like, because I remember, like, I was crying, Brandon was crying. We were both freaking out. He called 911 and I remember sitting there, we were looking at my Apple Watch at the heart rate and it went from 180 to 34. And I just got super dizzy and had tunnel vision and I'm like, I'm dying, huh? And I remember having this crazy piece about it, but I remember looking at Brandon and being like, oh, he's gonna be real sad. This is gonna suck for him. And I'm pretty sure I passed out for like a second. The ambulance got there, they took me to the Dothan emergency room where they let Brandon come in this time because I told them I would rather die at home than be alone in that hospital again. I know that sounds really dramatic, but after everything that we experienced with the miscarriage and then the COVID test and being alone in that hospital at a really crazy down moment in my life, I couldn't go back there again and be alone again. So I'm pretty sure they made an exception policy. The paramedics talked to the nurse. They allowed Brandon to come in. They did a CAT scan. They did all the things. I did not have a blood clot, and we chalked it up to I probably had an anxiety attack, and I was so embarrassed. Guys, my neighbors saw me come out of the house on a gurney and get loaded into an ambulance. It was so embarrassing. So that's my story that I've never really told. Welcome to my life. At this point, we had gotten stuck in the military stop move. We were supposed to move, I think in April, but then that got pushed out to, I wanna say May 30th, and then it got pushed out to, we didn't actually leave until like July, I think. I think we left in July. And then in June, things got exciting. I decided I was gonna go on a trip to Hawaii with 2 of my friends from college in August. We started looking at houses to buy because the housing here at Fort Riley was not good to work with, and they were basically going to end up scamming us out of a lot of money.
There's a lot of paperwork when you go to buy a house. There's stuff from the realtor, there's stuff from the lender, there's stuff from people I don't know who Pam King is.
She's the LOA for
I don't know what an LOA is.
Google.
We started prepping our cat Cinder for a 12+ hour car ride because she hates the car.
Cinder, you cannot ride right there. Cinder, it's okay. She really does not like it in here at all. She hissed at Brandon. We have toys. We're making it fun. No? Oh.
That didn't go well.
We are making progress. We are going around the block. And this is where she's at. Right in between us. It's looking like it's going to be another very long 12-hour ride if we don't get her used to the car.
Ended up getting her a cat in a bag, and that actually worked extremely well. No cinders were harmed in the moving to Kansas. I got my first ever vlogging camera, which is what I'm talking to you on right now. It's the Canon G7X. I've wanted this camera for years, like literally for years now. All my other videos that I made, all my Yellowstone content, the Grand Teton content, the Disney content, the National Peanut Festival, any other video that I had made was just shot on my phone. And so I got a real camera. I was so excited. I'd saved up for it. It was a huge deal. Brandon saw High School Musical for the very first time while we were packing. Are you riveted?
They're so good.
Are you impressed?
Yeah.
And Brandon hurt his toe.
We were about to go to bed, but somebody had to go dislocate his toe.
And then we had our friend Andrew come over and try to fix it.
If it starts to hurt too much, I'm not gonna continue. But you can move the pinky toe, or no?
Yeah, I think I am. I don't know what I'm moving right now. I feel like
Let me wash my hands first. We gotta be sanitary. Are you serious? Or
Yeah.
you being funny? Okay.
No, I'd scream a lot louder.
Is it too tight? I'm not gonna do too many laps, but this is one of my walks.
I know I was a medic, but my license is expired, and no thank you. And that was the end of our second quarter of 2020. The last video, these animals, man. Stop it. Frisco and Cinder just went in and out and in and out, so we're gonna leave that door open now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for caring about our life. If you haven't seen the first episode of this series, make sure you go back and watch it. If you want to see the next episode in the series, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.